This gap and crap strategy has paid me someone's monthly salary every single day for the past 3 weeks. I'm talking $3,000 to $5,000 in profit consistently, using the same setup that most traders completely ignore. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna break down exactly how I spot this pattern, why it works so reliably, and the 3-step system I use to capitalize on it with size. But here's what blew my mind when I first discovered this. The stocks that look the scariest to trade are the safest when you know this one secret strategy. And in this video, we're gonna break down first, the basic concepts and foundational elements of the strategy. Second, the pattern recognition, how to spot entries and how to correctly exit the trades. And third, the 5 common mistakes you need to avoid to implement this in your trading. If you've been frustrated with inconsistent results, you're not alone and it's not your fault. Most traders are taught to short front side and avoid shorting, and I made my career doing the exact opposite. Let me first explain my philosophy. Why do I short small cap? It's very simple actually. Small cap are the worst of the worst stocks. I mean, not all of them, but most of them are stocks that have bad business models, they're strapped for cash, they have some type of dilutive measure in place to fund their operations, and a lot of them won't ever bring a product to market. The reason that short selling small caps can have such high edge is because most of the time the big money is also either selling into open market with their dilutive measures, or there's just a ton of bag holders that believe the hype, believe the story from way back in the day, and are pretty much selling at any possible moment they can, especially when the stock is gapping up 100%. In my experience, a lot of these press releases that you see, good earnings, good phase results, we're listing our product on Amazon, we've connected with NVIDIA. These are just hype PRs to get their stock up, appreciate their stock price, and then what inevitably comes is some type of financing, some type of dilutive measure that destroys the share price, destroys the share count, and sends the stock back to lows. My job is to find, if this is how those stocks are gonna work, how can I place myself in a high odds situation? That's pretty much my philosophy. Now, what you have to understand is shorting is inherently, it's more risky than buying a stock. Let me give you the example. When you buy a stock, let's say you buy a stock at $1. I don't think that really matters, but when you buy a stock, your risk is 0, meaning the stock can go from $1 to 0, and that's the most you can lose. The most you can lose is 100% of your equity. When you're short selling stocks, that's not necessarily true. You run the risk of unlimited losses. Let's say you short that same stock at $1. At $2, it's run 100% against you. You have lost your whole initial equity. But what if it keeps going? What if it goes to 2, 3, 10, 20, 100? You can lose much more than just 0. You can go negative short selling. It's your broker's job to buy you in, but that's no guarantee either. So understand that unlimited losses means that there is no cap. Stocks can go on forever, and that's why it's so important to use stop losses. What makes a good short? Well, when it comes to gap and craps, the first thing I'm looking for are big percent gainers in the pre-market. I'm looking at anything that's pretty much gapping up 70%. And from there, I start to narrow my focus. Now that you understand what to look for in this strategy, let's dive into the practical system. You've probably experienced this yourself, seeing a gap and crap and being afraid to trade it. That fear is exactly what creates our opportunity. And this is the 3-step strategy I use. What makes a good gap and crap is, first of all, that it's gapping up 70%. Ideally in the price range of $1 to $20, and it's trading volume in the pre-market. I really don't want to trade anything that's illiquid. So I'm looking for a $5, $10, $15 million volume in the pre-market. I'm not really diving into anything specific, although there are some PRs to avoid if there are themes in the market, but for the most part, I treat them all as an aggregate. Most of these are horrible companies that will fail. So I'm looking to get short as close as I can to market open as it's making some type of lower low, and I'm looking to cover at the end of the day after they're done selling. In front of us, we have XPON. This is a stock that had a big gap up from $1 all the way up to $3.50. Ran as high as $5.50 and then absolutely crushed itself down to the low $1.93. That's $4 of range on a pretty much $1 to $2 stock. That's an incredible amount of range and something I'm looking to capitalize. They don't always work out this well, but this is the most recent one that did work out in this manner. Step 2 is where 90% of traders fail. But when you get it right, your win rate jumps to over 50%. The secret is I use a wide risk approach, meaning I'm looking to get involved and not risk a point on the chart that everyone else sees. So in front of us, we have a ticker LASE, one that I traded very recently. You can see the stock gapped up from 240 all the way to the 4s, definitely over that 70% threshold. I got short on the first lower low. So as it broke low of day here, I got short on this red candle. And my risk is wide. And the reason I do that is because I know that they're going to play games. I know that the stock is going to be range bound. I know that it's going to go up, it's going to go down, and most of it is going to be random traders tramping all over themselves and manipulators trying to get liquidity out of the markets. My goal is to avoid all that noise. My goal is to not be a part of their games. I get in and I risk something super wide. Wide risk is the key secret here. Then I'm looking to hold as long as I can. I know that these companies are horrible. I know that these companies for the most part will fade. And if I can survive the turmoil with a wide enough risk, then there's a chance I'm going to be profitable. There's a chance that I'm going to be in the trade by the end of the day and I might be in a good situation. So with LASE, I did get short in the 440s. In the middle of the day here, it was scary. It just was, spiking above VWAP, consolidating a tight range. It looked like it was going to go. But I just held to my gun, stuck to my plan, my risk. And by the end of the day, it was much lower than where I got in, and I was able to get out for a safe profit. Step 3 is the exit strategy. And I find that for gapping craps, the best exit strategy is to hold for the longest period of time, as long as I'm within my plan. So I like to cover at the end of the day. LASE was one. From that same day, we had FRX. Another situation where I got short on the new lower low. It looked scary for a second, but I had wide risk. And by the end of the day, we were much lower. So I like to cover at the end of the day because I don't like to swing things overnight. I find some scary moves happen in the pre-market. But you can see that even if I wasn't covering at the end of the day, the next day it goes much lower. Because again, these stocks are horrible. And a lot of the times, once the morning action is done, they tend to fade. Now, that's not absolutely true in every single circumstance, but the most important thing is to follow a consistent process. So I don't want to cover some into midday and some at the end of the day because I think my stats will be skewed. I want to cover all of them in the exact same manner. And whatever you find is the best for you, I have found close to end of day works well for me. The risk reward ratio that I expect to get on these is not much better than 1-to-1, but since a lot of them fade, the win rate tends to be quite high, and that's what makes for a profitable strategy. 1-to-1 is not a bad risk reward ratio if your win rate is high. If your win rate is low, 1-to-1 would be horrible. These 3 steps alone could transform your trading if you implement them correctly. But hear me out. These next 5 mistakes can kill your account. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to show you some of the biggest mistakes traders make when shorting and how this gap and crap strategy can fix it. Mistake number 1, shorting front side with no risk. There are 3 components to a trade plan. You have the pattern, you have your trigger entry, and you have your stop loss. If you are shorting these stocks with no stop loss, understand that it's the crappiest of all stocks that run the most. You're never gonna see Apple post 1,000% gain in a single day. But these penny stocks, when too many shorts get involved and the demand is very high, these things can go crazy. I've seen stocks go from $7 to $250 in a day. In front of us, we have a ticker called BSLK. Now, fortunately, this one didn't necessarily fit my gap and crap strategy, but it does emphasize the point I'm trying to make, which is the fact that this stock went from $3 all the way up to 18 in one day. If you don't have a stop loss, you can blow up your account. You stand to lose so much more than just 100%. So make sure you're using stop losses, especially if you're shorting. No matter what, if you're trading, you should use stop losses. Mistake number 2 is shorting Chinese companies. Chinese companies tend to act differently in the market. So it's very simple. What I like to do is I like to go into the company's filings, or I like to see where they're headquartered. I like to see who are the board members. And if it looks like a Chinese company, a lot of the Chinese companies that are in the $5 to $10 range, they're just blatant scams listed on the NASDAQ. And there are manipulators or algorithms or insiders. I don't know exactly what the mechanism is for these stocks, but there tends to be some really crazy moves within the Chinese companies. So for the most part, I like to just trade normal companies on the NASDAQ that have been here for years and have been diluting their stock, going through the reverse split process, putting out bogus PRs, changing their business practices, and getting their stock appreciated for no reason. And then ideally I want to capitalize on those. So where the stock is from can be very important. Mistake number 3 is using the same risk as everyone else. I don't like the idea of hard crack, lower high, high of day risk. Now, I know a lot of traders trade like that, and that is the one thing that caused me to be unprofitable with gapping craps. Think about it. If 90% of people are risking high of day, then how do you differentiate yourself from the 90% that lose? For me, I like to go in with a wide risk approach. I like to short, for instance, on XPON, the first lower low, you can see we tanked out the open, rebounded, made a higher low, made a higher low, made a higher low, skirt, lower low. So I got short at 485, and I know the initial inclination is to use high of day risk, but that's never me. I'm using something wide that most of the 90% of people aren't using, and that's what keeps me in the trade 9 times out of 10. Mistake number 4 is short selling cheap tickers. In front of us, we have SGBX. It's a stock that gapped up from 19 cents all the way to 40 cents. So on paper, this is a 70% gap up in the pre-market and at market open. The reason I don't like these cheap tickers is it's because it presents very poor risk reward. Think about XPON. It gapped up from 1 to 5 and had $4 of range to the downside. With something like SGBX, when it gaps up 40 cents, what's the best case I'm gonna make? 20, 30, 40 cents on a 60-cent ticker? That's best case. So the risk reward is kind of skewed. And there's also not many stocks that gap up from this cheap price range. So the data is quite skewed as well. I like to focus on stocks that are over $1. The last and final mistake is short selling real companies. I like to have a market cap filter. That is the easy fix. Why do I not short real companies? It's because think about what I said at the beginning of this video. What is a small cap dynamic? These stocks are dilutive. These stocks have horrible balance sheets. These stocks barely have a product, and they need to do financings to keep their operations going. Now, that's not necessarily true for all stocks, but it's a blanket statement that I personally assume, especially for the stocks that are small caps. So we're talking like less than 100 mil market caps. When you start getting into the multi-billion-dollar market caps, they can still be cheap tickers, $5, $10, $15, but they can be very real companies. Take in front of me BULL. This is Webull, a common platform that a lot of traders use to scan for stocks and even trade. This stock gapped up from a close of 13.25 to a next day open of 27. So roughly 100% gap up. Now, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. This is one that I want to avoid because it's a real company. And lo and behold, this one squeezes the living day crap out of people. Now, that doesn't mean it's a good company. It just means that there's more going on here. It's not the same small cap dynamics and features that I'm looking for when trading. So again, the simple fix is just to cap your market cap. So any stocks that start to get into that $1 billion range, I'm not looking at trading. Now, hear me out. You now have the complete system I use to generate $2,000 to $3,000 daily. But don't just take my word for it. Let me show you how our Clover trading students are implementing these exact strategies. The fact that you're still watching proves you understand the value of systematic trading. Don Juan, one of our Clover trading students who just posted his second best month ever, over $70,000 in profits. But everything wasn't like this from the beginning. When Don Juan joined Clover trading back in 2022, he was just like many traders, smart, driven, but struggling with consistency. He had no clear edge, no focus system, and like most, was taking random trades hoping for results. But everything changed when he committed to the Clover strategy. He doubled down on just one setup, a repeatable after-hours breakout strategy, and began tracking his stats religiously, cutting out the FOMO and only trading when the edge was undeniable. And Don Juan's not alone. We've got dozens of traders inside our community seeing results just like this, from first-time consistency to six-figure gains. If you're ready to stop gambling and start trading with confidence, click the link in the description and join Clover Trading today.